Welcome to Good Vibrations, the radio show for seniors, by seniors, featuring seniors. This is Diana Dagg.
And Jackie Bogue. I'm looking forward to sharing music, laughs and information with you listeners on the Good Vibrations show.
Jackie, I have a question for you. Can you tell us which music and arts festival was held in the United States for the first time in August 1969, advertised as 3 days of peace and music?
Oh, Diana, that would have to be Woodstock, wouldn't it? And it was held in the mud and featuring amazing artists and a huge lineup of folk, rock and blues performers.
Hey, you got in one, Jackie. Yes, it was absolutely groundbreaking, that music.
It certainly was, wasn't it? And those performers really dominated the airwaves.
In fact, that year of Woodstock, 1969, was groundbreaking in lots of ways. And it sets the scene for today's Good Vibrations program, starting with Steve Ferreira, giving us some glimpses into the 1969 Bob Dylan album, Nashville Skyline. And Alistair Webb takes his time machine back to 1969 to share just some of the events that held the nation and the world together over the year. What a happening year that was. And today, of course, we'll include our regular dose of trivia to prompt our memories. And again, back to 1969.
But first of all, though, let's hear how Steve Ferreira features the early Bob Dylan.
If you're traveling to the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there, for she once was a true love of mine.
See for me that her hair's hanging down, it curls and falls all down her breast. See for me that her hair's hanging down, that's the way I remember her best.
If you go when the snowflakes fall, when the rivers freeze and summer ends, please see for me if she's wearing a coat so warm to keep her from the howling wind.
If you're traveling in the North Country Fair,
where the winds hit heavy
on the borderline, please say hello to one who lives there, for she was once a true love of mine. Traveling in the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderline, remember me to one who lives there, for she once was a true love of mine.
Hello again, listeners, and welcome back to this week's Timepieces. Thank you, Diana, and thank you, Jackie. Girl from North Country is the opening track to Nashville Skyline, Bob Dylan's 1969 album's duet with Johnny Cash, accompanied by Cash's band, the Tennessee Three. It surprised many listeners, including yours truly, while simultaneously and curiously revealing a mutual respect between two disparate icons. Now, back in July 29, 1966, Robert Allen Zimmerman, a.k.a. Bob Dylan, crashed his motorcycle near his home in Woodstock, New York. No ambulance was called to the scene and Dylan was not hospitalized. Dylan's biographers have written that the crash offered him the chance to escape the pressures around him. Dylan concurred. "I had been in a motorcycle accident and I'd been hurt, but I recovered. Truth was that I wanted to get out of the rat race." He made very few public appearances and did not tour again for some years. This gave him the space to record many songs with the band and returned to studio recording in Nashville, where he recorded Blonde on Blonde. In 1969, Bob Dylan released Nashville Skyline. It was so unlike what anyone expected. Nashville Skyline saw him diving into country music with simpler songwriting and themes, a new vocal style, and plenty of fiddle and pedal steel played by renowned Nashville musicians, and no sharp, high-pitched harmonica breaks. The album marked a dramatic stylistic pivot, and its influence rippled through country, rock, and the broader music industry. Dylan had toyed with the public's expectations yet again. Tom Taylor from Far Out magazine wrote, "Usually time adds a weathered timbre to the tones of a troubadour, but Dylan's pipes of sand and glue had seemingly been pressure hosed. He quit smoking, rested, and cut back on everything else, and thereafter he never sounded sweeter than Lay, Lady, Lay." Let's listen then to the track that became Dylan's final top 10 hit, the lovely Lay, Lady, Lay.
Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big brass bed. Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big brass bed. Whatever colors you have in your mind, I'll show them to you, and you'll see them shine. Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big brass bed. Stay, lady, stay, stay with your man a while. Until the break of day, let me see you make 'em smile. His clothes are dirty, but his hands are clean, and you're the best thing that he's ever seen. Stay, lady, stay, stay with your man a while. Why wait any longer for the world to begin? You can have your cake and eat it too. Why wait any longer for the one you love when he's standing in front of you? Lay, lady, lay, lay across my big brass bed. Stay, lady, stay, stay while the night is still ahead. I long to see you in the morning light. I long to reach for you in the night. Stay, lady, stay, stay while the night is still ahead.
Nashville Skyline struck listeners as a warm, humanizing moment that instantly softened Dylan's image and showcased a healthier voice. The album was a deliberate retreat from political commentary during a turbulent era in the United States. By 1969, the societal unrest in America was nearing its peak. After the assassinations of Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy, the country was at war in Vietnam and protests and riots were cropping up across the country. Many expected Dylan to return with protest songs. Instead, he released a calm, apolitical country record, which itself became a refusal to be the era's political spokesperson. This was all very confusing to his fans. Nashville Skyline introduced audiences to a radically new singing voice from Dylan, who projected a soft, affected country croon. Here's another example from Nashville Skyline that demos that country croon. The beautiful I Threw It All Away.
I once held her in my arms. She said she would always stay. But I was cruel, I treated her like a fool. I threw it all away. Once I had mountains in the palm of my hand, and rivers that ran through every day. But I must have been mad, I never knew what I had until I threw it all away. Love is all there is, it makes the world go round. Love and only love, it can't be denied. No matter what you think about it, you just won't be able to do without it. Take a tip from one who's tried. So if you find someone who gives you all of the love, take it to your heart, don't let it stray. Oh, one thing for certain, you will surely be a hurting if you throw it all away. If you throw it all away.
Nick Cave wishes he had written I Threw It All Away. Cave says, "There is an audacity to the sort of simplicity of that song. It was so powerful. At the same time, for me at least, I was always raging and envious of that song." Despite the dramatic commercial shift in direction, the press gave Nashville Skyline a largely warm but mixed reception. Variety wrote, "Dylan is definitely doing something that can be called singing. Somehow he has managed to add an extra octave to his range." Importantly, though, Chris Christopherson, who later sang with Johnny Cash in The Highwaymen, observed, quote, "A generation owes Bob Dylan our artistic lives because he opened all the doors in Nashville when he did Blonde on Blonde and Nashville Skyline. The country scene was so conservative until he arrived. He brought a whole new audience. He changed the way people thought about it. Even the Grand Ole Opry was never the same again." Unquote. So, listeners, I hope you enjoyed this feature on Dylan's 1969 album, Nashville Skyline. Stay tuned for more 1969 treats and good vibrations. Until next week.
Thanks, Steve. Okay, back to reality, Jackie. Listeners, settle back, listen well, and see how many of these 1969 Trivial questions you can remember the answers to.
Hello listeners, it's Trivial back again with another episode of It's Trivial. Today we're celebrating the year of 1969. Question 1. In July of 1969, Apollo 11 landed on the moon and set Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walking on the moon for the first time ever. Who was the third astronaut left behind to guard the Apollo 11 as it orbited the moon? Question 2. Who was the Australian Prime Minister during 1969? Question 3. Which musical debuted in Sydney on the 6th of June 1969? By the way, it starred Reg Livermore, Marsha Hines in her theatrical debut, and John Waters, who later went on to Play School fame. Question 4. Which Australian male tennis player won the Grand Slam during 1969, winning all 4 of the major tournaments, the Australian, French, Wimbledon and US tournaments? Question 5. Which horse won its second consecutive Melbourne Cup in 1969? We'll be back at the end of the show to give you all the answers. Stay tuned for the rest of our program and I'll talk to you soon. This is Trivial signing off.
1969 was a year of huge societal change. Let's hear about some more of those changes with our Yesterday Once More host, Alistair Webb. Thanks, Alistair.
Hello there, and welcome to Yesterday Once More, where we take a look back at a time that was, well, different. I'm your host, Alistair Webb, and I'd like to invite you to jump in the time machine with me and go back to the year 1969. Santana rocking it up at a place called Woodstock.
The important thing that you've proven to the world is that 500,000 kids, 500,000 young people can get together and have 3 days of fun and music.
And what a 3-day lineup of music it was. Joe Cocker, Janis Joplin, The Who, Creedence, Jimi Hendrix, the live debut of Crosby, Stills and Nash, a who's who of 1969 rock royalty. Take it away, Joe. Glory days. And we'll have some more 1969 music highlights shortly. We were in an era of exploration. Musical? Definitely. Social? Absolutely. And lunar.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
One of the 20th century's most memorable moments, broadcast live to over 650 million people. Neil Armstrong, quite literally, walking on the moon. Definitely one of those I remember where I was moments. Do you remember where you were? Here in Australia, just a couple of months later, we had a different kind of exploration. Does the name Poseidon ring a bell? That's the boom, not the movie.
15 miles west of Laverton, in an area called Windara, there are a few drill holes in the ground. The Poseidon boom began when a percussion drill found nickel here. On the evidence of those few holes in the ground, Poseidon shares went to $61 in Australia and even higher in London.
Actually up to $280 a share at one point. That's $2,300 in today's money. 6 months later, the bubble had burst. As for Australian tennis, it was boom time. Rod Laver at the peak of his powers.
Roach tried to make the shot. Roach is down in every respect, and Rod Laver has won it.
Rod Laver wins his second calendar year Grand Slam, the only player in history to ever pull that off. But there was one highly emotive topic that refused to go away.
Moratorium Chairman Dr. J.F. Cairns is among the anti-war leaders addressing the demonstrators.
Gotta love the funky music of those movie-tone newsreels.
All around the country, scenes like these are repeated as the opponents of Australia's participation in the Vietnam War join together in a gesture of unity to support their cause.
Not sure who the voice was, but maybe you recognise this one.
Monaro by Holden. Yes, life is suddenly very Monaro. The good life, the young life.
Mr. Golden Tonsils himself. a very young John Laws.
The most flattering accessory a beautiful woman can own. Monaro. Makes a man feel 10 feet tall.
The Monaro GTS, a big clunker that went really fast. Let's talk money, the shape of money, as in the arrival of a brand new 12-sided 50-cent coin, replacing the existing round one. But what was wrong with the round one?
I don't like them.
Why not?
Because they're very similar to the 20-cent coins.
Oh, I don't believe in them, really, because I think they look like a 20-cent piece.
That has happened quite frequently with a lot of people.
A major design upgrade to the apparently very confusing original 1966 version. 1969 also saw the end of trams in Brisbane. Yes, they had trams. And with emails still decades away, the cost of a regular postage stamp was all of 5 cents. And more to the point, what were we watching at night on TV?
Come and listen to my story about a man named Jed. A poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed.
It was a mixed bag of US and British series, from the goofy comedy of Beverly Hillbillies,
oil that is, black gold, Texas tea,
to the high-stakes spy drama, The Saint, featuring the perennially smooth, perennially handsome Roger Moore. Other high raters included Mission Impossible. Yeah, we loved our spy shows. You can add the Avengers to that list. And while we're talking TV, let's try another Guess the Voice. Doug Parkinson, singing his heart out for Coca-Cola. Groovy indeed. But not all TV ads were hip and groovy. Maybe you recognise this voice.
Okay, Frank. The first word is television. Appalling. Hero. Oh, me in a toga. New? Well, Nilex moccasin. It's the newest things in leather-look furniture fabric. Frank, would you please stop talking about Nilex moccasin? Anyone would think you were being paid to do it. Good heavens, aren't I?
Yes, the legendary Frank Thring, spruiking the latest plastic, leather-look furniture. Hollywood producers were also exploring new territory, like adding a bit of personality and humour to traditional genres, like the Western.
Dynamite's ready, Butch.
Well, that ought to do it.
Think you used enough dynamite there, Butch?
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, box office gold in 1969. Midnight Cowboy and Easy Rider also broke through in the same year, part of a move towards grittiness and not so happy endings. And the cost of a movie ticket in Australia in 1969? $1.20 got you in the door. (1969) also saw the passing of famous authors and illustrators Norman Lindsay and May Gibbs. We saw the arrival of bestsellers Portnoy's Complaint and The Godfather Part 1. But for me personally, and perhaps for you, so much of life was centred around music, and 1969 was a rich vein. So let's jog our memories some more.
And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make.
The end of an era as the Beatles wrap up their glorious career. Sadly, we learned about the death of Brian Jones just 2 days before the Rolling Stones introduced guitarist Mick Taylor at the now famous concert in Hyde Park.
It goes, it's just
say a few words what I feel about Brian, and I'm sure you do, and what we feel about him just going when we didn't expect him to, okay?
On a musical level, the Stones, like many bands, are keeping it simple. Bob Dylan was going back to basics with Nashville Skyline. Creedence were doing swamp rock. Led Zeppelin released their first 2 albums in the 1 year. And Black Sabbath were just a few months away from unleashing Ozzy Osbourne on an unsuspecting public. At the other end of the scale, The Who were going full operatic.
Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball. From Soho down to Brighton, I must have played them all.
1969 was a musical smorgasbord.
That deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball.
Like any year, 1969 had its share of one-shot wonders. Sugar Sugar by session players posing as a band, the Archies, was a massive bubblegum hit. And one of my all-time favourites, Eloise by Barry Ryan. And out of nowhere, Russell Morris popped up with a kind of post-psychedelia, produced by his mentor, the one and only Molly Meldrum.
Come and see the real thing, come and see the real thing, come and see. I am the real thing.
But the prize for the best one-off single for 1969, and possibly of all time, goes to Peter Sarstedt. Where do you go to, my lovely?
You talk like Marlene Dietrich, and you dance like Zizi Jeanmaire. Your clothes are all made by Balmain, and there's diamonds and pearls in your hair. Yes, there are.
And with that wonderful memory, we wrap up 1969. The year a cute little kid and his siblings, aka the Jackson 5, released their first single, titled I Want You Back.
And a friend of Sasha Distel, yes you do. But where do
This is Alistair Webb signing off. I look forward to joining you on our next journey through time.
It's incredible, isn't it, that so much change can happen in just 1 year. So before we finish though, let's go to the answers to our trivia quiz.
Hello again, listeners, and welcome back. This is Trivial with the answers to today's 1969 trivia questions. Question 1. Whilst Armstrong and Aldrin walked on the moon, Michael Collins was left to babysit the Apollo 11 craft. Question 2. The Australian Prime Minister was John Gorton. Question 3. The musical that debuted in Sydney in June of 1969 was Hair. Question 4. The Australian winner of the tennis Grand Slam was the great Rod Laver. Question 5. The horse that won its second Melbourne Cup was Rain Lover. And that's the end of our questions and answers for this week. This is Trivial signing off for another week. And remember, if it's not trivial, it's not important. Bye for now.
Well, listeners, that's our show for this week. We'd love it if you could like and follow us on Facebook, and we're on YouTube as well. Check us out.
Thanks for listening.
And special thanks to everyone who contributed to the research and the production of this show and this comprehensive tribute to 1969. And we always appreciate the support we receive from the Inner West Council.
Please tune in next week at this time. But for now, this is Diana Dagg
and Jackie Bogue to say,
when it comes to good vibrations, remember to take them in and send them out.